Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy. And I help online business owners silence all the negative self-talk, holding them back from their dreams so they can finally see the success they deserve. And I'm curious, do you see your emotions as a virus? Something that just needs to run its course before you can get back to the real you, almost like you feel out of control. Like when life happens, you feel like there's nothing you can do about it, and it's like those emotions take over for a few days until something else happens to bounce you back. Like your negative emotions dominate you and you don't know how to break through them. Today is about navigating that, and this is so powerful because I never used to feel like I could control my emotion. I never used to understand how beautiful negative emotions really are. They would just consume me. And from what I'm going to teach you today, you'll not only learn how to control your emotions, but you'll also never feel like you have to run from them again. It's going to be really, really powerful, so strap in. So put this in your notes. It is a delusion to believe that your emotions are out of your control and just something that spontaneously occur as a reaction to the events in your life. Now, you might not believe me. And that would only be because you've never mastered what I'm about to teach you through to break through this. You never mastered it. It's a limiting belief, though. It is a limiting belief that you don't control your emotions. In fact, you create every emotion you feel. So I want to do an exercise with you real quick. Just picture for a second, and just play ball with me here. Go to the worst memory of your life for a moment and picture it all over again as if you're there. And feel it, like relive the pain of it, repicture it, recapture it. It hurts, doesn't it? Stay there, see what happened. Like put yourself in the moment of that painful experience happening all over again. Think about the pain it caused you and how your life was sucky in that moment because of that memory, and feel just the stress, the overwhelm, the anxiety, the pain of that painful memory right now. And go back there and just let it suck for a few moments. Feel it. What do you feel? Disempowerment. Frustrated, angry, resentment, sadness, like almost confusion as to why you're focusing on it. But now, go to the best memory of your entire life and feel that too. Relive the best memory of your life. Smile the same way. Experience that memory in your mind like it's happening all over again and feel it. Is it when you had your first baby? Is it when you said, I do? What's that moment for you? Go back, not from the outside, but relive that moment for a second like you're there, experiencing it. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt then now. What do you feel when you focus on that moment? Excitement, energy, aliveness, passion, joy. Something totally different than before, right? Why? Because whatever you focus on, you will feel. If you focus on what's missing from your life or what you've lost or the past, you will feel so down, so negative, so depressed. It won't even matter if you're taking antidepressants. You'll still feel depressed. So what does that teach us? Focus equals feeling. So my question for you, are you truly living with the emotions you want to feel daily? What if you could? And when was the last time you took time to say, what do I want to feel daily? Ask yourself that. What if you could do that? Because in your life, you're going to experience pain. And pain is a really beautiful thing because it causes us to move. There's nothing wrong with experiencing pain. In fact, it is guaranteed to happen. Pain in life is guaranteed, but suffering from that pain is your choice. It is up to you, and it's optional. This podcast is about mastering your emotions and making your emotions a tool for you, for your success, for your happiness, for your mindset, for your life, including the negative ones. I'm talking about actually using your negative emotions as a tool for good. Negative emotions are a call to action for your life, and positive emotions are a reward for how you're living your life. Every single emotion you feel is a message for you that you're either doing things right, a positive emotion, or that you should change something, a negative emotion. So whatever you're feeling at any time is never based on the actual experience you're going through, but your interpretation of that experience. It's the way we represent these experiences in our own mind, how we're telling ourselves to react. So if something is a negative emotion, my challenge to you from now on is to welcome it and learn from it. Because think about it. Let's use the example of anxiety. If you focus on how you should not feel anxious when you're in an anxious state, how you shouldn't feel this way, how you should feel different, you should feel happy, and you're like resisting that emotion and wishing life was different, does the emotion get lighter or heavier? It gets heavier. It gets worse by making it wrong to feel it. But if you focus on noticing that you're feeling anxious, asking what it might mean and how you could benefit from that emotion, actually getting curious about feeling anxious in that moment, does the emotion get lighter or heavier? It gets lighter and it goes away faster. So the key to getting rid of your negative emotions is to welcome negative emotions and to learn from them. So stop denying them, because whatever you resist, what? Persists. So how do you currently deal with negative emotions? I'll show you how most people deal with them. There's 4 ways that I learned from Tony Robbins that people deal with emotions. Number 1 is avoidance. They avoid situations that could lead to pain and rejection. And so we'll avoid those situations because we don't want to feel those negative emotions. And it's a short-term strategy to protect you, but it's a long-term strategy for misery because it keeps away everything great. Ask yourself, if you avoid putting yourself in situations that could lead to negative emotions, failure, pain, rejection, is that you? That's how a lot of people deal with negative emotions. The second way is denial. And this is what I used to do. These people pretend that things are just dandy when they're not, right? They pretend life is perfect all the time, but on the inside they're dying. And the emotions just intensify inside because you ignore it and they bottle up. And that's what I used to do. I would use positivity as a coping mechanism for pain, but on the inside I was dying, right? And so it just makes the situation worse and it bottles up inside you. Ask yourself, are you living in denial of your negative emotions? And number 3 is competition. This is probably the worst of them. This is when someone uses their emotions as a tool for significance. They make their emotions the worst. It becomes part of their identity that they feel the worst at all times, and they almost pride themselves on feeling worse than anyone else. Their situation is worse. They've gone through worse. Like you say something that's going on in your life, and they say, yeah, that's my situation. That's what I felt in this situation, only it was worse, right? Competition is that person. Do you handle your negative emotions by making yours the worst? And then number 4, learning from and using your negative emotions. You don't run from them. You don't pretend they're not there. You don't make them worse than they are. You see them as they are, as a call to action, as a message. And that's where life changes, when you live in number 4. So how do you break through to live in number 4? By realizing that all emotions serve you. Every single emotion you feel will serve you. Your negative emotions are very, very real. You just felt them a minute ago. It's about elevating to a higher level than the emotion, realizing that you are not your emotions, seeing the emotions as an objective thing and using them to create positive change. I challenge you from now on to see your emotions as something objective, not who you are. A negative emotion is a call to action for your life. They're wonderful things. Negative emotions are really just great calls to action to change your approach on what you're doing. That's it. So if you're angry, ask what it means. Don't get mad that you're angry. Ask what anger means. If you suppress your emotions and try to drive them out of your life, if you're magnifying them and allow them to take over everything, you feel like you have no control, when in reality, you're face to face with one of life's most amazing resources, your emotions. Your negative emotions are one of your biggest allies, because they're telling you what needs to change to live the life that you want. So you can feel any way you want to feel at a moment's notice. Remember, if you stop denying the negative emotion and get grateful for that emotion and learn from that emotion, you'll feel happiness. For most people, they need something to happen first before they can feel good. Like a rule exists in their life that they can only smile if X happens, or if someone says something, or if their business goes a certain way. Please understand, put this in your notes and live this, and your life will change. Nothing needs to happen in order for you to feel happy. Nothing. And as long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something else, you're never going to be fulfilled. You don't need a reason to feel good. You just need to learn from your negative emotions so you feel positive more often. So with this, wouldn't you agree that how you feel at any moment is really the result of the meaning you have given to the experience you're going through? I always give this example, but if a man opens a door for a woman and she's really happy, really grateful, why? It's not because of him opening the door, is it? It's because of her interpretation of what that means. Because if he opens it and she's all pissed off thinking, I can get it myself, you pig, I don't need you, right? Did the event change? No, it never changed. She just changed her association to the event. So whatever you're feeling at any time, is never based on the experience, but your interpretation of your experience. It's the way you literally represent to yourself your experience. If something is a negative emotion, don't deny it. Welcome it. Learn from it. The best ways to change your negative emotions into positive are a simple process. Number one, welcome and notice your negative emotions. Don't deny them and push them away. Welcome negative emotions and notice them. Number two, get grateful that all emotions serve you. Actually be grateful for this call to action that it came into your life. It is a good thing. If you can actually be grateful for it, you stop pushing away the lesson that will get you to freedom. So get grateful that all emotions are serving you. Number three, get really curious about what this emotion means for your life. Ask how you can use this feeling to change your life. Take action to change your life based on this emotion. That's number four, taking action. Taking action for your life once you get curious about what it means. So to recap real quick, one, welcome and notice your emotions. Number two, get grateful for your emotions. Number three, get curious about what it could mean. And number four, take action to change your life based on this interpretation. So what used to take you a week to bounce back can take you literally 2 minutes if you use this strategy. Let me give you one more example. If your spouse is quiet, does that mean they're mad at you? Or does it mean that maybe they're just caught up in something? Did they maybe have a bad day at work and need to feel more attention from you? There are so many meanings, but actually asking yourself what this emotion really means helps you control your response to it. So assess it. Take action from what you think it really means. Just pause for a moment. If you become less reactive to emotions and more proactive, your life changes. So just pause, not just with your emotion, but all parts of life. Slow down. Slow down. Don't just do that gut reaction. Pause for a moment. Getting curious about your emotions and using them helps you master the emotion, helps you solve the challenge, and prevent the same problem from happening again in the future. It's not about vanishing negative emotions. You don't want to get rid of them. They're amazing tools. That'd be totally faked, pretending life's perfect all the time. It's about using negative emotions to create positive change. Anxiety is a normal emotion. Living in anxiety is a choice. Depressed states are normal emotions. Living in depression is your choice. Now, I'm not saying there aren't biochemical challenges that make those situations worse for some people than others. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying empower yourself through it. Don't use it as a way out of taking responsibility. Take your control back because you can. There's nothing wrong with disempowering emotions, but your life will suck if you choose to stay in the disempowering emotion. You just need to take a higher approach to life, because when you're so caught up in how you feel, it feels like you're fighting a ghost because you view the emotions as part of you, but it's not. They're objective. There's something different, something else. They are not you. There's something you observe. So when you elevate your life to a bit higher of a level, almost like you remove yourself from your higher self from the problem and you look down on the problem, you can see it's never really worth getting stressed about. I wrote that on a Post-it on my wife's desk when she was in grad school. It's never worth getting stressed about. Because think about it. You're breathing. You're alive. Isn't that enough to smile about? And if you're smiling, guess what? Life gets so much easier so quickly if you're actually smiling. Most people lead lives of quiet desperation. They just think life happens to them all the time and don't realize that life is always happening for them, and that includes you. Life is always happening for you and not to you, and that includes your emotions. Your emotions are happening for you to change something beautiful. Successful people use their emotions. Successful people choose to own their emotions. Your life will change very, very quickly when you do this, because, my friend, you have one shot in this world. One. That is it. Wouldn't it be awesome if you lived with a smile on your face most of the time? It's such a cool place to be. Such a cool place to be. People ask me all the time, how is it that I'm bubbly and happy all the time? Like, how am I this annoyingly happy on a regular basis? I just taught you. It's because instead of using positivity as a coping mechanism for pain, it's that my positivity is a true byproduct of using negative emotions when they come up, not denying them, using negative emotions as an ally instead of an enemy. And the life I've created from it is pretty freaking amazing. And yours can be too if you choose to use this. So if you found value in this today, head over to iTunes. Give this podcast a rating and a review. The higher it's rated, the more people we can serve. And of course, share this with your team. Share this with the people that need it the most. Screenshot it. Put it in your Instagram story. Share this message with your team and others who need it today, because their life will change. But either way, you are the master of your emotions. Don't diminish one of life's greatest resources. All emotions are a beautiful gift if you choose to have that perspective. So thank you so much for listening to the Path to Mindset Mastery today. My name is Brad Bizjack. Go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face, because when you control your emotions, that is very, very easy to do. I'll see you next week.